Guess who's up in the middle of the night having himself a ramble, wide awake? It's not Santa. I'm just faking it. Like, I feel like I'm trying to be Santa. Like, because all this vegan food I've been eating makes me bloated so I can get stuck in a chimney. Like the real Saint Nick. Like, I wonder how many chimneys he's gotten stuck in over the centuries. Like, you know, historically, Saint Nicholas, I don't want to botch the name of this convocation of early Christian bishops as my sleep medicine kicks in. But yeah, he was at this big deal convocation of bishops, and there was this really annoying bishop that all the other bishops hated, including not so jolly in this case, Saint Nick, who totally wore a hat like this historically. But yeah, so there's this one bishop who sucks. And like, Saint Nicholas kicked his ass. Like, right there in the meeting, Saint Nicholas, maybe that's why he wears gloves, beat this guy down because Saint Nicholas was a boxer. Historical truth. And then he got kicked out of the council, but everybody also was like, I'm so glad you did that. Thank you for beating that guy to a pulp. He was stupid. But you gotta go now because you're like out of control violent. So like, you better watch out. Because he's coming to town. It's gonna be Thanksgiving tomorrow, but I started Christmas early because it pleased me to do so. But yeah, like, these videos, I get my sleep medicine down, and then I turn on the camera, and I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. I have no plan, no chosen ahead of time topic. It's always a surprise to me. So apparently I'm talking about historical Santa. Or Saint Nicholas. He definitely didn't go by Santa Claus. Hello, I'm Bishop Santa Claus. And at his church, all of like the altar boys and stuff are like elves. Like those weird Christmas elves from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Yeah, they look like that. You know, Santa Claus was grumpy in that is that a cartoon? It's stop motion animation. I guess that counts as a cartoon. Even though it looks live action. But yeah, he was grumpy. That's historically accurate. He was also a homophobe in that. Because, that's right, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was a gay allegory. What surprises me is how many people are surprised by anyone saying that. But to me, it's screaming obvious. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, not only gay, but obvious. Metaphorically speaking. I mean, yeah. Rudolph's gay, that elf dentist Hermie is gay. Yukon Cornelius is like a bear. So it's just, but that's not even what I'm talking about. So like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. So let's talk about his very shiny nose. Or as they may call it in the animal kingdom, his big red. Rudolph's nose was an allegory for it sounds so funny, like trying to come out of my mouth. Like it sounds like a very legit thing to say in my head. But yeah, so Rudolph's very shiny nose was a metaphor representing his gay erection. That really does sound nuts, but it's true. Look at it. Watch, like, listen to this evaluation and then watch this cartoon and see if you are ever going to look at it the same way again. Because, alright, so Rudolph has a shiny red nose, and, like, first things first, his, like, overly macho dad is not cool with it, to put it mildly. Like, forces him into the closet, puts that black thing over his nose. No son of mine is gonna have a shiny red nose. Like, when Rudolph has to go to school, he's like, you have to be like all of the other reindeer. Join in their reindeer games. Which, I mean, is obviously a metaphor for a heterosexual orgy, but Rudolph doesn't, like, no, it's like more, it's a metaphor for, like, the world, the homophobic world out there. You're gonna look like everybody else because I, your overly macho father, feel shame over your shiny red-nosed homosexuality. And so, like, Rudolph's dad makes Rudolph cover up the thing that he is ashamed of. That Rudolph, it was just how he was. He didn't feel shame over his shiny red nose. He wasn't tortured over it biologically. He just had a shiny red nose. It's other people who feel shame and try to put that shame on him. And so, you know, his dad is like threatened by his son's sexuality, his like fragile masculinity that he's clearly overcompensating for with his attitude. It's so frail, and he like is worried that having a glow-in-the-dark nosed gay son is going to make him less masculine in the eyes of society. And so he's ashamed, because the North Pole is an extremely homophobic place. It's not a safe space. You get fired over it up there. You have to like throw yourself out a window and run away to become a dentist. If they find out. And, you know, I don't know. Is the dentist thing, is that also a gay thing? Or was Hermie bisexual? Like, you never get to hear the elves talk about, like, sex in that cartoon. So you don't know, like, what they're into. But my point is, that yeah, Rudolph's dad was a homophobic prick, man, and it was all about his fragile ego. That I don't know why he questions his own masculinity and why he thinks homosexual and heterosexual have anything to do with masculinity or femininity. Like, he's just, this freaking reindeer has got some funny ideas about the world that unfortunately at the North Pole everyone shares except for Hermie and Yukon Cornelius. Hermie the bisexual elf and Yukon Cornelius the bear. Like, I bet Yukon Cornelius had like leather underwear. He just looks the type. And like the way he was licking that chisel. I don't know. And then, so like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. So Rudolph and his, why was I just now wrestling with my hat? It's saying strange things to me. But they are in response to things that I said to it. To be fair. Okay. So Rudolph goes to school in the closet as mandated by his family. And yeah, so he's accepted by the other guys as just one of the guys. But when they start wrestling, I mean, come on. How does any child of 5 watch this cartoon and not realize that it's a thinly veiled message in defiance of the homosexual society of 1964. Did I say homosexual or homophobic? I intended to say the homophobic society of 1964. Any 5-year-old child can watch this cartoon and clearly see that. You would think, but I've never assaulted anyone with this theory against their will without being met with shock and distress. Perhaps we are still living in the homophobic society of 1964. But at least, no, we're definitely not. Like the island of Misfit Toys. Like today, they do gay marriages there. 1964? No. It was more like the community closets. Or no, it was the gayborhood of the North Pole. But tragically, these toys were shunned. But we haven't gotten there. We're still talking about Rudolph getting an erection while wrestling with the other boys. Which was represented, of course, by his covering on his shiny red nose popped right off, while he's wrestling with Firecracker, or whatever his name was. I've only seen that cartoon 18,002,000,002 times. So for some reason the name escapes me. But he was a homophobe too. Like Rudolph's friend. His close male friend who made his nose covering pop off. And then everybody knew. Everyone's like, oh, holy crap, Rudolph has a boner. And they all shun him. And it's like, hey, you cannot participate in our heterosexual fun. And Rudolph's like, y'all suck. I'm gonna go find a bisexual elf and become his best friend. And so he does, because they won't let him play. So you cannot play if you are gay in the North Pole. I'm telling you all of this so that you know what a jerk Santa Claus is. Anyway, so Rudolph runs away, meets Herbie. Why do I not? It's the sleep medicine, folks. I'm already exhausted and can't sleep. So then I take sleep medicine to help me sleep because I need to. And then instead of going to bed, I turn on the camera and I spew profound truths about holiday icons for God knows how long. I don't know how long this is going to go on, how long I'm going to talk about this. You're in for a ride. You're in for a holiday sleigh ride. Man, I haven't taken sleep medicine in a while. It's hitting me hard. I probably shouldn't be making this video. I shouldn't be driving. I should not be driving this camera. It's this hat. This hat does very strange things to me. It's magical. But don't even get me started on Frosty the Crazed Snowman. He was in a, like, weird cult or something. I don't know. But anyway, we're talking about Rudolph. So they run off. They find the North Pole's LGBTQ plus resource center. But it was 1964, so they just called it the Hood. The Gayborhood. This is where we go. This is the Molly House of the North Pole, so to speak. It's like Big Gay Al's big gay boat ride. And I love this about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And I love that it freaks people out. It shouldn't. It's just, it is what it is. Like I said, any 5-year-old, any modern 5-year-old will look at this cartoon and say, that is a gay reindeer and he is valuable and society was not okay back then at the North Pole. But you know who saves the day? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Gay Reindeer. That's who. But we haven't gotten there yet. So, the island of Misfit Toys, the LGBTQ Community Center, is like, yeah, you can't stay here. I don't know why. Like, I don't remember. I need to rewatch this cartoon. I don't remember why. Maybe because they're not toys? So what does that mean in the allegory? Like, because, you know, like, so Rudolph, like, I'm thinking maybe they're bisexuals and they're being discriminated against in their own community. But Rudolph's definitely not a bisexual allegory. Rudolph is straight up gay. And you know, I notice I don't ever look at the camera in these videos. I'm always like, la 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 la. So Rudolph, I'm going to try to look at the camera. Why do I look off to the side? I don't even know what I'm looking at. So Rudolph, you're intimidating me now. Like, the camera is intimidating me. Rudolph is straight up gay. Like, now that he's out of the closet, he is the gayest thing they have ever seen in the North Pole. Like, you turn out the lights and you still see Rudolph being gay. That's what this metaphor is saying. And so, turn out the lights, you still see Rudolph being gay, and then you can't miss it. You can't miss it in a storm. It's like, you don't hear anything else. You don't see anything else because you're in this storm. But holy crap, I can see that Rudolph is gay. So he's definitely not being discriminated against within his own community for being bisexual. He could be a lesbian or a woman who identified as lesbian and then discovered that she was actually bisexual and then being shunned. Maybe that's it. No, because Rudolph cannot be bisexual. Hermie can though. Like that could be Herbie. Either way, he's a her. Maybe Herbie, maybe the elf is a transgender elf. But the her at the front. Like either way, Herbie. This boy Herbie. Or Hermie. Herbie is Hermie, or Hermie is Hermie. Maybe that's it. He's transgender, but Rudolph I don't think is transgender either. Rudolph is gay. Rudolph is like Rip Taylor gay. There's just nothing heterosexual about Rudolph. So why are they kicking him out? I mean, in Yukon Cornelius, maybe they don't like bears. Maybe they're fat shaming him. I just can't understand why they don't make Rudolph their king or queen. I mean, I guess because they already have a king. See, he's not a toy. He's a freak. He's a flying lion. You know, I think that means he's like into like some really kinky fetishistic stuff. Like he's out there. He's not normal by society's standards. Like he's queer, but he's like so queer they made him their king. Like he's probably all over the place. He's probably bisexual, pansexual. He may identify as one or the other given the direction the wind is blowing. Like he can fly and murder sheep and eat them like while they're still partially alive because he's a lion with wings. Like I think they die while he's eating them. Or I could be thinking of myself. That's the way I always eat sheep. But anyway, I mean, they just taste better when they're alive. So the king of the queer nation is a lion with wings. Like, yeah, that guy is so kinky. Like, I bet he's into like S&M, like to an extreme. And I don't know, what does that mean? I bet he's a slave because in life he's a king. So it's like how he escapes. I don't know. In my mind, I've never taken this metaphor beyond just how undeniably gay Rudolph is. I haven't looked at the supporting cast. So why were they kicked off of the island of Misfits, Gay, and LGBT? They're the whole rainbow. You know? Like, a bird that swims. See, now that is a bisexual metaphor. And I mean, there's a hate crime at the end during the credits of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Because that's the true ending. That is the true punctuation mark on this epic and well-crafted metaphor from the 1960s. Way back in the 20th century. I mean, so for whatever reason, they leave the island of Misfit Toys. Oh, but you know, I totally missed the part, like, when Rudolph's dad was like, "You're not gonna be gay. No son of mine. You're gonna play baseball and, like, date rape chicks, like I did, to prove I was a man." Rudolph's dad. What a jerk. He, like, belongs in jail. Anyway, so I don't know, Santa comes over, like, after that, and he's like, "You're doing the right thing repressing your son, you know. I've just seen that he's gay and he'll never work for me. I'm not gonna hire a gay to work, to drive my sleigh, so to speak." I don't know. Santa's a jerk. Like, he's a homophobic jerk. Like, he has hiring policies against gay reindeer. I mean, he was a Catholic bishop. I guess that's why he's homophobic. He thinks Jesus hates gay reindeer. But I mean, come on. The Catholics have extra books in the Bible, not fewer. He knows the book of Genesis. He's a bishop. He's a really old bishop. He probably wrote the book of Genesis. So he should know that according to his own faith tradition, God created the universe, and therefore God created Rudolph and gave him a very shiny nose. Which it makes it strange to be, it's just strange to be like such a Christian that you are a Catholic bishop and or even the Pope, and you're like worried about who's having butt sex. Like, who is acting in the way God designed them to, in a way that God did not design me to, because I hate them. Because Jesus loves me and said, love your neighbor as yourself. He didn't say all but the gay reindeer. No. That's not in the Bible, but Santa doesn't care. Santa doesn't give a crap. Like, you try to tell Santa Claus that he, a bishop, has got his theology wrong, he's gonna knock you out. So, be good. You better be good. For goodness sake. Or Santa Claus will knock you out. One punch. Just one. You might not ever wake up because he has magical powers, apparently. I don't know how. I don't know why. But I know something I just went into a Little Mermaid song. Right. But I don't know when, I don't know how, but Santa Claus attained magical powers and immortality. And they made him a saint. They made him a saint. Maybe that's the point at which he gained these magical abilities and an army of supernatural creatures. Santa Claus freaks me out. Let's be real. Or not, I don't know what is reality. I think we don't need to cover that again so soon. But yeah, so Santa's a jerk. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Anyway, so he doesn't care. He doesn't care that Rudolph ran away because of being gay and being rejected by his family and rejected by his peers. I mean, they're lucky Rudolph didn't just throw himself off a cliff. Suicide rate very high with gay reindeer, bisexual elves, and dentists. I mean, and I bet that Santa and Rudolph's freaking dad, I bet they brag to everybody about how pro-life they are. At least Santa does. He's a bishop. And yet, they have no qualms about driving a gay reindeer to throw himself off a cliff. This Catholic bishop, Saint Nicholas, and Rudolph's freaking dad. So, wasn't his dad Donner? I forget. But there's one little reindeer missing. Rudolph is his name. They don't care. They don't give a crap. They're like, good. I mean, I guess he's in hell now. Moving on with our Christmas obsessed lives. And Santa, it's like, he's not without his kinks in this show. Like, he and his wife are into erotic weight gain. Eat, Santa, eat. Yes, Mama. I mean, should we analyze the fact that they call each other Mama and Papa? There's something, and I'm not kink shaming them. Not by any means. I'm just saying, they're shaming people who are outside of what they consider sexual norms. And they dare they dare to shun a probably vanilla gay reindeer while they go home and have some messed up incest roleplay that involves erotic weight gain. I've never looked so closely at this cartoon. But you know, like if people found out that, like if people found out that's what Santa Claus does in bed, I'm just saying, they'd be like, Rudolph who? Santa Claus did what? Santa Claus, there's a video? I mean, jeez. Santa Claus. You do you. But if you're gonna do you, let Rudolph do Rudolph, man. And let her, the elf, be whatever they want to be. Her, the pansexual elf. I'm getting more like her, the elf, is pansexual, maybe more. I don't know. I'm just comfortable. He did identify as a he. I suppose we should respect that. But there's like, maybe he's like a two-spirit. Which is a modern Native American term. Maybe he has some she. Maybe he's gender fluid, primarily identifies as male, but he is a her. Hermie. That's what he says. Like, people say, who are you? And he says, her, me. He's telling us that he's gender fluid and bisexual. So anyway, I mean, he could be pansexual. I feel like he'd be more comfortable with the term bisexual. He just has that look about him. You know, it's the hair. His really big hair beaver tail thing that people used to have. Looks like a beaver tail. I'm not going to look too closely at that. So where were we? So Rudolph and his elf and bear friends wind up, like, you know, when they get back, well, Rudolph ditches his friends and goes home. I don't remember why. I think it's because, you know, like, they're far away. They're on their own. They're their own community that doesn't have a place anywhere in the world. And so, because, I mean, the island of Misfit Toys, like, maybe these three just weren't scene queen enough for the super kinky lion king with wings. I don't know why they were rejected from that society. It sucks. But that society didn't hate them. They got along there. And they were like, you know, please help us fight the man. Help us fight the government. When you get home, tell that jerk bishop in his little candy cane house and magic powers that we want gay rights. That we're all the same. We are equals. Prick us, do we not bleed? Probably most of them, no, they don't bleed. They're demonically possessed little talking toys. And they've been rejected by the world because they're gay and whatever. They're like all of the above. That's the box they check when it comes to the rainbow identity that they associate with themselves, that they identify as. So that's what's going on there, but I don't know why I don't remember. Like, if I'd known I was going to be talking about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, I would have watched it. I'm planning to watch it, just not in the past, because that would be difficult to pull off. Nigh impossible. I'd have to go to a parallel universe, but let's not go there again so soon. So Rudolph gets home to his house. Like, I think, yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, they were far away from everyone. And Rudolph started craving the acceptance of his parents again. So he goes home. And Santa's like, yeah, didn't miss you, but your parents are like dead. Like, some giant monster took them away, and I can only assume they're in hell now, because they had a gay son. Anyway, bye. And so Rudolph is like, dude, you're the worst. And then he goes to find his parents and his girlfriend. Right, he has a girlfriend even though he's gay. His beard. But you know, they were still really good friends. So, where was I? Right, so he goes looking and he finds the abominable snowman. Like, I don't know what he's up to. Like, he's got some strange things going on in his mind, you know? Like, his eyes like, roll around. He just sits there, like, licking his lips, like, in the nude. Like, but he has yet to actually bite into a reindeer. I don't know what the abominable snowman represents in this metaphor. But just, like, real problems. That's what he is. It's like, if you're in this guy's house and he's like, whoa, what just happened? That was weird. The lid on my water just like flew off, and it's probably like demons from the North Pole coming to stop me from talking smack truth about their boss, Saint Nicholas. Okay, so what happened next was, right, so I'm just saying, yeah, it's like, your son is gay and you think that's a problem? Wait till a naked man is holding you prisoner in his house while he stands over you naked, just smacking his lips and carrying you around and stuff for days. Then you have real problems. So that's what the abominable snowman represents. Real problems. He totally represents real problems, because what happens, like, the gay community comes in and solves that problem for their heterosexual enemies, who then become their heterosexual friends. Oh, you have value after all. You saved us personally. And that's what happens. Like, some people, like politicians, won't vote for social justice until it affects them directly. Then they have a change of heart. But they don't have the empathy to comprehend a problem that is someone else's. So that's where Rudolph's parents are. And you know what his girlfriend represents is a straight ally. She was the only one who didn't shun him. So, but his homophobic parents now think maybe Rudolph deserves gay rights because he saved them personally when they were in a mess. It's like, what? He is not a soulless baby-eating monstrosity like St. Nicholas told us. He has humanity. He has the capacity for heroics just like any of us. And there he is, putting his bravery to use for the benefit of us. They don't use the word others because they're just, they're not very aware. Rudolph's parents. They're not very self-aware. Like, they could probably look in a mirror and they would always think that was somebody else. Like, I bet Rudolph's mom and dad have had long conversations with their mirror and they think they're talking to the neighbors. And you wonder why the neighbors are always stealing, like, their clothing ideas. Like, that's how not self-aware Rudolph's parents are. Like, they can't understand anything beyond their own experience. And so they didn't experience that Rudolph had humanity. They didn't give him the chance to show them the noble man he grew up to be, or buck would be the proper terminology, I think. They shunned him and sent him away. But when they're forced to see his humanity, then they accept him. It's like, okay, Rudolph, we will vote for gay rights since you saved our lives. And so did your bisexual and bear with probably leather underwear friend. Like, I bet Yukon Cornelius has nipple rings. Like, you know, like the things they put in cows' noses, like that big, and like he calls them handlebars. Like, I bet, but it's so cold, so you never see it because he won't take off his coat. Because he lives at the North Pole for some reason. He doesn't have magical powers. He's just up there with a sled and some dogs. Like, how did he even get there? He could be Santa's illegitimate son. I mean, there are only 2 humans up there that we know of, but there could have been someone else. I mean, just to further illustrate that Santa condemning the sexual ethics of a person is hypocrisy. When, like, he's had an extramarital affair, a child out of wedlock, a gay child who he probably shunned, or just didn't even bother getting to know. Like, maybe he didn't even know that Yukon Cornelius exists. Like, maybe the mother never told him because she didn't want him involved in her kid's life because she knew he was such a jerk. Plus, he's married and he's like the bishop of the North Pole. There would be scandal. She was probably paid off, is what it is. And like Santa had to like raise funds for that. And that's why he gives rich people more presents than poor people. Because he's like paying back his donors. What a corrupt sack of holiday crap Saint Nicholas is. So, right, and you know, his fantasies with his wife are like, you know, not hurting anyone, but just having a fantasy is not unethical. But just what those fantasies represent and what he allegedly stands for, like, is condemned by the Bible. He's fantasizing about violating the 10 Commandments, or, well, not the 10 Commandments, but, you know, Levitical law. Like, he fantasizes about that when he's having sex with his wife. And so does she. Like, they have blasphemous sex, is what I'm saying. But, oh, wow. So anyway, so they go back, the Reindeer family and friends go back, except they think Yukon Cornelius is dead. Because he sacrificed himself, seemingly, to solve their problem. And oh, I should get used to looking at the camera. Hello, camera. But it's hard. I guess this is just how I talk. I don't look at people, I guess. I don't know why. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not even thirsty. So, they go back, there's a big storm, and like I was telling you, if you can't see anything in a storm, you can see that Rudolph is gay. So, Santa's like, alright, well, there's this storm here at the North Pole, so we are going to globally cancel anyone celebrating the birth of Christ this year. In any way. Christmas is canceled. I mean, no church services. Because he's not just a magical old man living in the snow, but he is a Catholic bishop. So, and a saint. So if he says Christmas is canceled, it is. Like, no church services, no dinners with your family, all the flights, if you're going home for the holidays, stay home. Your flight is canceled. No Christmas. It's like, if Fox News had been around then, they'd actually have had something to complain about, I guess. Like, Santa Claus is trying to cancel Christmas. There's a war on Christmas, and it's being waged from the North Pole. We have someone in charge of Christmas who wants to dismantle Christmas. It's like, did Trump appoint him? I think so. I don't know. My phone buzzed, but it was just some dumb news thing. Oh, did it again. I'm gonna not pay attention to my phone. It's rude. So, where was I? Right, Santa cancels Christmas because they can't see anything. And they're like, what do you mean we can't see anything? There is one thing we can see. What's that? Ho, ho, ho. Oh, there is one thing we can see. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer is gay. And if we can see that he's gay, then if we just put him out in front and follow him, then we'll get where we're going. If we can embrace his homosexuality, if we can accept him for who he is, we can evolve as a society. We can move forward as a society. That's what it's saying. And so they do, and Santa's like, all right, gay rights on the North Pole now. We value you because you helped me personally to move forward. It's like Santa Claus and Rudolph's dad, they put the responsibility on the discriminated upon communities to prove their worth. That's not right, but that's what they do. But then once the worth is proved, they accept them. Oh well. So anyway, Santa's like, you know what? Okay. So we can all see your erection in the snow. You have saved the day. Your gay erection. And then Rudolph gets a job with Santa, and Yukon Cornelius is alive, and he has, more than, he didn't murder the snowman, right? He reformed him. Like he forgave the person who wronged him in the past so that he could become an ally in the present. That's just good politics. He worked it out. And now there's a way for this naked man to fit into society, and his diversity makes him useful. He's tall enough to put the star on the Christmas tree. Looky what he can do. That's what happens. And Rudolph's diversity makes him valuable to society because everyone can follow his glowing homosexuality into the darkest nights, and he's a good leader is what it's saying. And Wait, did Yukon Cornelius use a whip on the snowman? Or am I just imagining that? I don't know. So, and Hermie is an actual dentist, which is valuable to society. Like, the elf's diversity is valuable to society, and that's the message of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, mostly. Because they elect Rudolph into this leadership position, and he leads them. But here's the thing. You know, it's kind of like Carrie's hand shooting out of the ground in that movie, or, you know, just, it's an end credits scene, but it's during the credits, but it's kind of like the end credits of Masters of the Universe, and Skeletor's head pops, oh, well, spoilers, and Skeletor's head pops out and says, "I'll be back." That's what happens in this movie, like in this Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer thing. There's a plastic thing still in my hat. So the stinger, I guess that's what we call the stinger on this story, is that you think everything is great. Rudolph's saving the day. He's got gay rights for everyone. He's leading the way into a brighter future that in which diverse people are valued for the things that make them different in this North Pole society. But Stinger, a bird who doesn't fly or who doesn't have wings from the island of Misfit Toys, who they're trying to assimilate into society, like allow them to be who they are and be valued by society. The society is trying to conform to their unconformity. And so, of course, whenever the pendulum swings in that direction, there's going to be a strong pushback. And so, this one elf who probably represents conservatism, like, you know, the staunch homophobic Christian right, like, that's what he represents, and he pushes that bird who cannot fly. Like, he's giving all the toys umbrellas that they float down with into the chimneys they're supposed to go. They're in the sky. Like, he has to get all over the place in a single night. They don't have time. They don't have time to stop. You put milk and cookies out, I don't know if he eats them ever. Like, maybe he stops in, like, at the end of the day, maybe he starts stopping in houses if he's got time to spare. But for the purposes of this film, there's this gay basher elf. Like, so he's looking at this gay toy, and he's about to hand them, I don't know the thing's gender, I think them an umbrella. And then he's like, you know what? Push. You're a bird, right? Fly. That's a transgender toy. Because looks like a bird, but does not function like society expects a bird to function. Can't fly. It's like, you know what? Yeah, I don't believe that you're a bird who can't fly. You're a bird who can fly. Bye. Murder is the stinger on this story. A hate crime against the transgender community is carried out at the very end of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Gay Reindeer. And I think that's a powerful message for Christmas. is work together, try to solve society's problems together, teach society's problems to put a star on top of the tree, and the world becomes a better place. But there are some people who aren't gonna like it, and they're gonna murder you, so be careful. Be careful who you get in a sleigh with. Even as society is struggling to adjust to accepting more diversity from people, you need to be careful who you trust. That's all Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer has to say. And that's probably all I have to say. Santa Claus is gonna bring me a lump of coal this year. But I don't care. I didn't vote for him. I mean, I'm not Catholic. Well, I mean, I don't know what denomination he actually is. Because I think his becoming a bishop, well, but it's the Catholics who made him a saint. So, you know, it doesn't matter. He's a Catholic bishop. Even if his becoming a bishop preceded the unification of Christianity under the Catholic umbrella back in the day. I don't know. I have to Google the exact dates, but right, so Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, gay allegory, all about the power of diversity. So, there you go. I think I'm done, because as I said, this sleep medicine has hit me pretty hard. Why am I awake? Why am I making a video and posting it on YouTube when I'm in such a state of merriment? I don't know, but I'm glad I did. May change my mind when I edit this video, or when I wake up in the morning. But yeah, for now I'm done. I'm done. I'm not done with the holidays. I'm not done overthinking Christmas specials. I should make that a thing this year. I mean, geez, I could go on and on about the He-Man Christmas special. But I'm not going to. Not in this episode, anyway. For now, I'm going to take off this hat. Maybe take off this hat. People used to sleep in hats like this, at least in cartoons. This is a nightcap. Santa Claus is always ready for a nap. But, yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep. Because that sounds awesome right now. And yeah, I'm done. I don't know how to wrap these videos up. I don't know how to start these videos, yet here we are. So I'm going to for real say goodbye now. Or good night. I'm going to say good night. Because it's nighttime. This is early for me though. It's only 10:11 p.m. I don't know if I've ever done one of these things post-meridian. Nope, post-meridian. Yeah, post-meridian. What? That's how tired I am. Okay. Good night. Thanks for sitting up with me.